Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and we've got three big updates and a few other things as well to discuss. Harry Maguire has been released from police custody in Greece, but the story doesn't end there. There's an official statement from Manchester United as well as an update on what is actually happening with that. Quite interesting, the Greek judicial system. I'm certainly not up to speed on it either, so we will discuss that. Also, Gabriel, potential hijack deal of the move to Arsenal for Manchester United. We'll talk about that as well, but let's start off with Jadon Sancho. Dortmund again coming out and saying that, you know, we expect him to be here at least for another year. What I would say is that, look, Jadon Sancho, I think seems to be a lot of confusion about this, and there's a very good tweet that went out today from @u_xi Simon, who doesn't really tweet that often, but is actually, you know, been pretty good for a Twitter source in the past. And it was quite interesting what he was saying, because pretty much reiterating what's known in the industry around the Jadon Sancho deal at the moment is that there is a reluctance on both sides to budge. Jadon Sancho wants to come to Manchester United. He's not one of the sides, but will probably not force it with a transfer request. And I don't think he needs to do that. I think he is doing everything Jadon Sancho can do. He wants to come to Manchester United. He won't come out with, and it's quite telling this, he won't come out with a public statement that he wants to stay at Dortmund and he'll be here next year, which is what Dortmund want. Even a recent interview that I think I read last night, he was talking about transfers and saying, I don't get involved in that sort of thing. I just focus on me and playing football. Didn't say I'm not leaving Dortmund and I'm focusing on next season. You know, for every hater who wants to say Sancho's not coming to United and every United fan who wants to be negative that he's not coming to United, Jadon Sancho's comments are quite telling. And if Jadon Sancho comes out next week and says that he's staying at Dortmund, I would panic and that would be it. But I'm not. And Sancho's not why I'm confident, but he's not saying anything to make me unconfident either. So Sancho's not saying anything about staying at Dortmund. He wants to come to United, but he won't force the move. And then you've got Dortmund and you've got United on each side of the story. United don't want to pay the money. We're a business, not a football club. And Dortmund have plenty of experience of getting the money they want for players. So to me, we're at a standstill. Now, quite interestingly, on the tweet thread of @u_xi Simon, he said that what could have held it up is that Dortmund are looking for a replacement. Now, that replacement could be Memphis Depay, and obviously Lyon have only just been knocked out of the Champions League, so we may see a little bit of escalation now that Lyon are out of there. Now, whether Dortmund are going to sign Memphis Depay or not, I don't know. I think it'd be a good signing for them. We don't have any fee or anything in that. We have a first refusal if we want to sign Memphis Depay. But I said it last night and I'll say it again. I think that there will be an escalation in the Sancho deal over the next couple of weeks, maybe even next week. But once the Champions League final's out the way tomorrow, it really does become about transfers and no football for a couple of weeks. So I think that it will start to escalate. I'm still totally confident that it's going to happen. I think there's plenty of reason why it's not happened yet. I don't believe that Dortmund want an outright 120 million euros, by the way. I think it is a structured deal, and I think that the issue is that Manchester United don't want to pay as much as what Dortmund want within that structured deal. At the end of the day, if you've got a player that wants to go, and you know your plan was always to sell him anyway, and you're going to get 120 million euros over a couple of years instead of 1 year, you'll still do the deal because you're still going to get that money. And I think United are probably renegotiating, trying to get add-ons, trying to lower the price, because that's what we do. Reports saying we'll talk about that in a moment, Jerome T. Green, about Harry Maguire. So yeah, look, the simple situation with Sancho is I don't feel that Manchester United can back out of this deal. I feel they've got to get this deal done. I'm still totally confident that it will happen. I think we'll see an escalation over the next 2 weeks. Of course, there's always that slim chance that, you know, it might fall apart, but I don't think we're at that point at the moment. And I think the best way I can explain this Sancho deal is look at what Chelsea are doing. Somebody said to me today, well, no one else is spending 120 million euros on a player, so why should we? And I said, get back to maths class, because add up what Chelsea are going to spend. Werner 50 million, Havertz is going to be about 70 million, that's 120 million. They're going to get Chilwell for 50. Teams are spending more money than us, and they're doing it already. This comes down to what it comes down to. Chelsea are trying to be successful on a football pitch. Man City are trying to be successful on a football pitch. Manchester United want to be successful on a football pitch, but also pay shareholders and owners. And that's always the problem at United. Negotiating, taking ages, trying to save a fiver. It's all about And look, I'm not even being Glazers out here. I'm just telling you what Manchester United is. Manchester United Football Club could be watching this and saying, oh, he's on about it again. All I want is United to be successful. If that's deemed to be negative by the club, then I'm sorry. I want the club to be more successful than you do because you want to be successful and pay shareholders and dividends. I want Manchester United to be successful, and we are fighting with two arms tied behind our back because some clubs aren't interested in paying owners and dividends. They're interested in being successful in the best football club in the world. And it pains me that Manchester United, under this ownership, have gone from being wanting to be one of the best clubs in the world to wanting to be one of the best clubs in the world, but also making sure that plenty of profit goes to our owners. And this is always the problem in negotiatings. And to be fair, I don't think a director of football would make a massive amount of difference because it all comes down to the owners of this football club and the profits they want to make out of it. And it makes it very, very difficult because everything we try to do to improve is underpinned by trying to save money. And you know, look at Chelsea. They finished fourth. They want to win the league next year. They're buying players to win the league. We finished third. We've not bought anybody, and Jadon Sancho won't be enough to win the league. This dragging out of this deal to get this deal done so that we can all go, oh, number 7 is playing the flute. It won't be enough. Jadon Sancho will be a very good signing and it will be a symbol statement, but we need more. We need more than that, and we're dragging our feet, and we're always going to drag our feet because it's always about the bottom line, the bank sheet. And they can talk about COVID, and COVID does make a difference, but COVID's only making a difference to us because we've also got to pay profits as well. This is the issue. Anyway, that's where we are with Sancho. I still think it will happen, and I'm still confident it will happen, and I expect it to start moving. But ultimately, it comes down to what I just said there, money and not wanting to spend money. Reports saying Harry's sister was stabbed or punched or something, not sure, says Jerome T. Green. So I think Harry did the right thing if true, says Jerome T. Green. Very difficult on the Harry Maguire thing. I think you stick by him. He's innocent until proven guilty. I'll give you the latest at the moment. There is a story floating around in the Daily Mail. We don't believe the Daily Mail for transfer stories, so why are we believing them about this story? But what it's basically saying is that Harry Maguire's sister got stabbed by a sharp object whilst it was going on, and Harry Maguire ended up getting arrested. So you could put 2 and 2 together and get 4 and say Harry Maguire stepped in, or maybe there was a scuffle going on already, she's got involved and got hurt. You just don't know what's happened. We're gonna have to wait to see. But the reality is Harry Maguire has been released from Greek police custody, but it's not over. I'll tell you why in a moment. But hopefully, look, if he's innocent, he needs to fight this and clear his name. And the reality is he's pleading not guilty. I read some articles that United doesn't have the money to pay and thus they will pull out. What do you think, says DK? Well, they have got the money. They have got the money. Manchester United have got the money. They can speculate the money. They can borrow the money. They can structure the money. They've got the money. Well, there's a difference between having the money and not wanting to spend the money. And with United, I don't even need to tell you what the answer is because the evidence is there. The last few years, even when COVID wasn't here, we didn't like spending anything more than 60 million net spend. So don't ever believe United haven't got the money. United have got the money. It's about wanting to spend the money at Manchester United. Hi Mark, hope you're feeling better. Do you know if Xanders has any transfer updates? I'm not going to read that one, Elijah. And reports, yeah, okay. So let's have a look. So basically, I'm going to read you this out from Sky Sports because I haven't read anything from the BBC yet. So Sky Sports, pretty good news outlet. They're saying that Manchester United captain Harry Maguire has pleaded not guilty to charges after appearing in court following his arrest on the island of Mykonos. He was arrested after an alleged fight on Thursday night. Police said there had been an altercation and an exchange of words with officers, with the 3 men appearing before a prosecutor on the nearby island of Syros on Saturday. Maguire was in court for around an hour, testifying to a prosecutor where he denied all charges, and it is understood that the trial has been adjourned until a hearing on Tuesday. So it's not been dropped, it's still going ahead. However, the 3 defendants are not obliged to attend the trial and are free to return home. Maguire left the courthouse in an unmarked van, refusing to make any comment. So Harry Maguire is free to go back to England, but the case has not been dropped. It will go ahead or continue on Tuesday, but there is no requirement for Harry Maguire or the other defendants to be there. It's not clear which of these charges, because the charges are aggravated assault, verbal assault, and also the most serious one, the attempted bribery of an official. Now that, to me, bribery being more serious than aggravated assault just shows you how serious the bribery charge is. Although it's not clear, this is from Sky Sports, it's not clear which of these charges specifically pertain to Harry Maguire and which the other 2. So we don't know that Harry Maguire has allegedly tried to bribe an officer. We don't know that Harry Maguire was involved in aggravated assault or verbal assault. We don't know what Harry Maguire has done, but there's 3 defendants, and those are the charges against whoever in that 3. We'll find out. Speaking from the scene, unfortunately, the people who know what happened in that courtroom are Harry Maguire, the 2 people who his co-defendants, and of course the prosecutor and his defence lawyer. The legal system in Greece does not allow the hearings to be open to journalists. So the information is very much, it's nothing to do with Harry Maguire being a Manchester United football player and a multimillionaire. It's the Greek judicial system. Journalists can't be in the courtroom to find out what was said and who the charges relate to. So there is going to be this uncertainty for the next few days because we don't know what Harry Maguire is being accused of, and there was no journalists in there, and obviously Harry Maguire and the defendants are saying no comment, and of course the judge and prosecutors are not going to comment on it either. It seems there may have been an agreement, according to Greek media, that Harry Maguire returns to the island of Mykonos, which is around a 50-minute boat ride, to apologise for what took place there on Thursday night in order for him to return to England. So this is all very, very weird, to be honest with you. Patrolling police officers, and this is coming from a statement from the Greek police. They're saying the patrolling officers in the area of Mykonos intervened and normalised the dispute between citizens. However, 3 foreigners involved in the incident turned against them, insulting them and hitting a police officer with fists. Now, Harry Maguire is one of those 3 people, but we don't know whether he threw the fists. The foreigners were taken to Mykonos police station, where upon arrival they were strongly resisted. Pushing and beating 3 police officers. Bloody hell. So this is a statement from the Greek police. They are saying that 3 foreigners involved in the incident turned against them, insulting and hitting police officers with the fists. This is the fight on the street. And then, after that, the 3 foreigners were taken to the police station, where upon arrival they strongly resisted, pushing and beating 3 police officers. I hope Harry Maguire is not one of those people, because that's 2 separate incidents there. But we don't know whether it's Harry Maguire. And as I said, innocent until proven guilty. It could be the 2 others or one of the others. One of the detainees then tried to offer money so that the trial against them would not be completed. The arrested men were taken to Syria. So we don't know whether that's Harry Maguire either. Manchester United have also released a statement shortly after confirming Maguire's not guilty plea, which read, "Following the appearance in court today, we note the adjournment of the case to allow the legal team to consider the case file. Harry has pleaded not guilty to the charges. It would be inappropriate for the player or club to comment further while the legal process takes its course." So it's all very, very confusing, because from what the Greek police are saying, there are 2 incidents there. They've been fighting with the police on the street, and then when they've got to the police station, they've fought with the police as well. There's story of Harry Maguire's sister being injured, and maybe Harry stepped in to get involved in that. There's bribery. We don't know what the charges are against Harry Maguire. We know that against the 3 people, one of which is Harry Maguire, there's a bribery charge, there's assault against police officers, and all sorts. If Harry Maguire goes back to that island to apologise, for me, that's an admission of being involved in something he shouldn't have been involved in, and that has ramifications for his football career at Manchester United. Not in relation to playing for Manchester United, but the captaincy. If he acknowledges what he did was wrong, then how can you have the captaincy for Manchester United, I would say. But innocent till proven guilty, and as horrible as this is, I don't know who the other 2 people are. I hope they're the 2 who've tried to bribe a police officer and hit a police officer, because something's clearly gone off, and we need Manchester United, Harry Maguire back playing for Manchester United. And as I said, it doesn't strike me as the sort of thing he would do. But in summary, for those tuning in, Harry Maguire has been released from police custody. He can come back to Greece, we think. The trial or case will continue on Tuesday. He doesn't need to be there. That can be done in his absence. But it continues, and we still have no clarity on who tried to bribe a police officer, who hit a police officer, and obviously these are serious charges that many of us would have hoped this morning that the charges were dropped. It was just a night in prison. He wasn't involved. So it does actually continue. There's a lot of stories about what might have happened, but regardless of any scuffles or injuries to people, the charges don't relate to fighting on the street. They relate to bribery and hitting a police officer, which is obviously not acceptable, is it? But there we go. We will see what happens with that. The good news is he's out of police custody. Let's see what happens in the next few days. Also, let me just talk to you about Gabriel. Gabriel is going to be signing for Arsenal very soon, apparently. This has been spoken about by a lot of outlets. There was a story floating around that Manchester United had tried to hijack the Gabriel deal, that they were asking Gabriel. So basically what Romano had said, and a few others, is that Arsenal have got the offer on the table. Gabriel's very interested in it, but Manchester United have spoken to Gabriel's agents and are trying to get him to wait. but they've not. But Man United haven't spoke to Lille yet. Quite why Manchester United would be asking Gabriel to wait, I don't know. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for September the 1st when the Amazon voucher codes kick in and we can pay them in them. I don't know what we're waiting for. So, but Manchester Evening News, quite interestingly, they've said that they understand that Gabriel is not a top priority for Manchester United. So look, you know, whatever you think about the Manchester Evening News, I know for a fact that they do have connections with the club. Certain people do anyway. And I would imagine Manchester... But then again, maybe Manchester Evening News have asked that about this morning. Manchester United know they've messed it up and they go, well, he was never a priority anyway. I mean, look, it's all about spinning those PR plates, isn't it? But the interesting thing is, and I think, look, there's so many interesting aspects to this Manchester United transfer window, but the interesting thing for me is, if we don't sign Gabriel and he goes to Arsenal, and then we don't sign a left-sided centre-back, every fan's going to be going, well, there was a left-sided centre-back there that was available for 25 million, which is a bargain in today's market. I mean, this is exactly the deal that Ollie hinted about at the end of March when he was asked about transfers, and he said, well, you know, we could be in a position to take advantage of this market because obviously some clubs are going to have to sell because they've lost money. Well, if Arsenal get Gabriel for 25 million, probably before COVID he might have gone for 40, but Lille need to get money in, don't they? They've got some money in from Osman, they get some money in from Gabriel. They've had a good summer after COVID, so there's a lot of clubs in that position. So I think my point I'm trying to make is, if the Arsenal get Gabriel, they've got him cheap, and he's potentially a good player. Manchester United better have a left-sided centre-back that they're looking at, and it better not be Tyrone Mings, because we need a left-sided centre-back, and if we don't buy one and Gabriel was available for 25 million, then we're stuck in this depressing situation again of even teams like Arsenal having more ambition than us in their transfer wallet than what we are. And I know Sancho's going to cost a lot of money, I accept that, but if we just sign Sancho, we're just Real Madrid of the early noughties, just buying Galacticos. We need a team. You know, we need a team. And look, worst case scenario, if Harry Maguire goes to prison for a year, which I don't think he will, we also need a centre-back anyway. So Manchester United need to pull their finger out. And I don't know. Look, I love the club. I love a lot of people in that club. I still always want to give people a second chance. But time and time again, that enthusiasm and hope does get kicked into the mud by the ownership structure, which is ultimately, it's not about hashtag Glazers out, it's about the club we've been for 15 years. We're a club that wants to be successful as long as a lot of the money goes out of the club to profits and shareholders and dividends, and that's just the way we are, and it hinders what we try to do because other clubs do not do that. They don't, and they just want to be successful on the pitch, and it makes it very, very hard for us to be successful in that sense. It really, really does. But it is what it is. Hopefully United will do some business. Love the show, Mark, and I'm watching from New Zealand, says Bradley Keys. Well, I felt that I needed to just do a very quick update on what's going on. I'm actually going to be playing a bit of FIFA career mode in about 10 minutes on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, if you want to join me for that. And then we are playing United Stand Pro Clubs team is playing Borussia Dortmund's team, Bochum's team and Liverpool's team between 4 and 5, which we'll be streaming on Twitch, which is 11 versus 11. So we're looking forward to that because we're going into a league on Monday. Love you, mate, says Danny. Thank you very much. Please smash a like on the video. Just a very, very quick update. I think I've covered everything there. Maguire has been released from police custody. I think that's good news, but the story definitely continues because it's not over yet and the charges are quite serious. I just hope they're not against Harry and they're against somebody he was with, one of the two other lads, because you know, we don't that. We don't that. Arsenal fans are saying that the deal is done for them. I think Gabriel to Arsenal is pretty much done. Yeah, and again, we're going to be stuck in this no man's land of, or no woman's land, let's be diverse, of a situation whereby we just don't know what we're doing, which is, we don't know what we're doing. That's pretty much Manchester United's motto when it comes to transfers. We don't know what we're doing, said in a way of we don't know what we're doing, we're clueless. And then from a fan's point of view, we don't know what we're doing, question mark. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what's happening. I mean, Gabriel, I think many of us would have liked him because he's a left-footed centre-back. Are we looking at another one? Are we just not looking at one at all, even though it's a glaring issue? at the moment, Arsenal, City, Liverpool and Chelsea have done, and Spurs have had a better transfer window than us because they've actually got players in. We've done nothing yet. We don't know what we're doing. So we'll see what happens. You can get hold of one of these t-shirts if you want to. If you check underneath the video, you'll see the YouTube has all the pictures of our t-shirts. It doesn't necessarily have the best colours, but you can click them and change the colours and have a look. You can get this one and a few others that we've got. They do ship worldwide as well now. Australia we weren't shipping to because of COVID, but we do now, so they're available. And I'll be back later on tonight. It might be a little bit late tonight. It might not be 8 o'clock, it might be 8:30, but there will be a show tonight as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Little update for you. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and if you want to watch me playing a bit of FIFA, I'm going to be there in about 8 minutes time on Mark Goldbridge That's Football. Speak to you in a bit.